See, that's her son. Do you know him?
I'm already getting emotional and I'm not even up here yet. Okay, deep breath. They asked for a parent's perspective, and I struggled with this. So, I'll try to not get emotional on you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, so let him out.
Thank you. When I was growing up, I was never really very aware of prejudice.
Huh?
I was raised in a Navy family, and tolerance was taught. The lesson in tolerance was never verbally conveyed. It was conveyed through actions. My parents were inclusive of everyone, so I was not aware of prejudice while I was growing up. When my second child was born in 1991, sorry,
It's all right.
and I snort too. When my second child was born in 1991 with Down syndrome, it wasn't long after his birth that it dawned on me that my family was suddenly thrust into a world where prejudice and political correctness existed. This was new and foreign land to me, something that our family was going to have to learn how to navigate together. Every child is a gift, an amazing miracle given to us to teach us so many things. But a child with special needs has so many lessons to offer every member of their family and every single individual that they and their family members come into contact with. The life lessons are spread 100-fold. One of my first experiences that started out as a negative experience was in very early 1992. I can vividly recall standing in a shopping mall with two babies in a stroller, and a woman who appeared to be about 60 approached me and asked if my son was a mongoloid. I had a choice to make at that moment. I could be upset and get angry at this woman for her ignorance in the year 1992, or I could turn the conversation into a positive experience and educate her and hope that she learns a valuable lesson and that she'd carry that lesson forward with her. I chose to educate. My response was quite simple. I said, "My son has Down syndrome, yes. Mongoloid isn't a term we use any longer." She apologized profusely and commented that she would remember that. And that's when I came to the realization that my son was given to us so that we could help to educate others.
Yeah.
I have always believed that there is a reason for everything. And I know in my heart why I was asked to talk with you all today about the R word. I have struggled for years with finding an appropriate way to respond when someone uses the R word in my presence. I have a very dear friend who I worked with for many years who used the word in my presence, and I completely ignored it.
Good.
Don't get me wrong. I heard her say it. I was extremely aware of its use, and it hurt. But I didn't say a word in response. I could chalk it up to being in shock that certain friends who know me well and who know my son could choose to use that word in my presence. But I really believe it was because I wasn't prepared. I didn't know how to respond. I've also been guilty of blowing up at people when they've used the word around me. We had a nice gentleman. He'd delivered things to our office every week. He'd known me for years. He also knew my son. He casually walked in one day and directed the R word at a coworker in posing a question. I instantly jumped all over him. He was extremely apologetic, but that didn't take away from the fact that, one, he'd used the word, and two, I'm sure he had no clue what he was getting into when he walked in the office that day. I think I put the fear of God in him. So, what should the response be when someone uses the R word around you? How should you react? Should you get angry and blow up at them and instill fear in them so that they will never touch the subject again? Or should we use the opportunity as a chance to educate? A good response might be as simple as, That's not a word we use anymore. We prefer that you respect us and not use that word. One important lesson I know is to always be prepared. I've decided that I was asked to speak here today so that I could take my own advice. I've decided it's time I get prepared. It's time I have an answer for when someone uses that word in my presence. I know if you have something prepared ahead of time, you will be better equipped to respond, and the experience can be turned into a positive rather than becoming a negative. So find some simple response. If you'd like, use my example. That's not a word we use anymore. We prefer that you respect us and not use that word. Or create your own response, but be prepared to educate others in a positive way. I encourage you to speak positively. Use every opportunity to educate others so they will share their knowledge they have learned from you. If we instill the fear of God in others, they'll never touch the subject again. We want everyone we come into contact with to have a positive experience and share what they learn from us and help us all spread the word to end the word.
Yeah.
I encourage you to be prepared the next time someone starts to say something inappropriate around you. And then you'll be able to handle the situation and turn a negative experience into a positive experience for everyone involved. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's kind of emotional.